Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finale of our league. After quite a bit of a detour yesterday, after some slight malfunctions on parts of, things out of our hands, we're finally here for the lower bracket final. Just a quick update, I'm sure you can see it on the screen or somewhere. Lancaster ended up beating, I believe it was Reading yesterday. They ended up beating them 3-1 in the series. Two of those games, of course, not being broadcasted, which was the third game and the fourth game. Third, of course, taken by Reading, and the fourth one by Lancaster. I'm RW Dragon. I was casting last night with Digital Bacon, who's taking a break for this series. And I'm joined by Mr. Craftman.
Hello, Dragon. How's things? Last night didn't go to plan. Thank you, Google, I guess. Thank you, Google Cloud Platform.
Thanks, Google.
Hang on. Okay, Google, fix the servers.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I did it.
Hey, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you right now.
No, but we're in for a great night. 2 games left in our league season 2, and absolute barnstormers of games. We are going to crown our final ever Arrow League champion, who will be the UK University champion of Rocket League. It is a title to hold above everyone else. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We've got 3 teams left. Like you said, Lancaster beating out Reading 3-1 last night. And I believe it was 2-0 when we went off air in favour of Lancaster. So Reading
That is correct.
getting that 1 game back in game number 3, pushing it to that game number 4, and putting trying to give Lancaster a run for their money. But they are now through our Lancaster, and they will be taking on here in the losers final with a chance to go back up into the winners bracket to the grand final. They are going to be taking on the mighty Swansea Storm Green.
Definitely. Lancaster, one of the 2 teams who had a perfect season during league play. I think the other team was this Swansea Storm Green team, I think, if I remember correctly. Let me just bring up bracket. Unless do you have the bracket up, Crafters?
The playoff bracket, yes, I do. So Swansea Storm Green, they were knocked out by Loughborough in the winners final, so they come straight to the losers final here. Loughborough, the only team I can see. Yes, they are the only team in the playoff bracket with a perfect record. They've not dropped a single game, so that is the challenge facing whoever gets from this game through from this game. That is the challenge that is going to be facing them, an undefeated Loughborough, and that is a scary sight.
Definitely, and as the 2 of us know, Loughborough were definitely the dark horses in Season 1, going through a little bit of the lower bracket to face Warwick last time. Now this time, they are the Warwick of this season. They look absolutely tremendous, and I'm excited to see how they do right now. Well, not right now, but later on. But right now, we're looking at Lancaster against Swansea Green. 2 very impressive-looking teams. Yesterday, of course, Lancaster beating Reading for this spot in the lower bracket final. And they do have their full 3 members. And I think Swansea Storm should get banned for these names, because I'm not sure who is who. Because we have 3 grass starters from Pokemon playing instead. So let's just get right into this as Lancaster start this game on defense.
Well, at least Ty Lacto hasn't changed his name, but we know who he is. The big man on Team Secret, RLCS Season 4 contender, unfortunately in the rival series at the moment, but that doesn't mean that Turtwig can score against the rest of his team. Look at this, just coming from the middle of the field. Delirious Mac just way out of position, rotating back way too slowly, and an Orion just with a massive whiff, leaving that net wide open for Turtwig, who we don't know what his actual name is, but it's Turtwig who's credited with that goal.
Now, Ty Lacto definitely was the defensive powerhouse this entire season for Lancaster, but the rest of the guys there definitely have something in attack to be said. Usually they have Ty Lacto sitting back, doing all the defensive work, Delirious Mac and Orion They would be joined by Galactus a few times in offense, but generally speaking, those two can act alone without Tylacto. And there, Tylacto, of course, as I said, acting as the defensive man, and wonderfully so too. Lancaster still in the attack here.
And acting as that defensive man can open up the play a little bit more for Mac and Orion. You would think that Tylacto would try and be that offensive powerhouse, try and do everything himself. But I think he's got enough trust in his teammates that he can sit back a little bit. Yes, he might come out to offense every now and again. Like you said, great pass there from Tylacto, actually finding Orion. Can't actually find the net as Rowlet saves it out, but this is a great attacking phase here from Lancaster, and they're going to have to rotate back just in time. Goes Orion, taking that ball off Treco, and now they will go back onto offense.
One thing that has to be said, that in fact both of these teams were beaten by Loughborough in the upper bracket, so definitely these teams have something to prove when it comes to facing Loughborough. And Lancaster, they were swept, and both teams were swept by the Loughborough team in the grand final. I do believe the week that Lancaster lost, they had a slightly weakened team there, but at the moment they're playing with their full three. They've used it for the undefeated season that they had in league play, and they look very good other than the goal that they have conceded.
Indeed, you can see pretty much since that goal went in from Swansea, it's been all out attack pretty much from this Lancaster side, trying to tie the score back up. Swansea's defense has been a little bit shaky some of the time after this relentless attacking phase, just constant pressure from Lancaster. Swansea dealing with it all right, like I said, but a little bit shaky, and a goal from Lancaster is pretty much inevitable at this point. It's just a matter of when it will come, or if it will come, in the next 2 minutes.
If it will come, indeed. They have lagged a little bit. What a fave from Deletris Mac, pretending to get the redirect going, but Tylacto challenges too early, and that's a great bump on Deletris Max, and Rowlet finishes off the shot here from Trico, getting the shot on target, and then getting the bump as well. Rowlet comes in to make sure he sweeps it up. Sure, there might be a goal coming in for Lancaster, but they cannot stop a second one going in from Swansea.
And it just came from that play by Mac. Yes, it was so good of him to go for that fake. He almost bet the man, but the guy he was up against in defense was just too powerful, or too powerfully minded to not get faked out. Holds his nerve, gets it upfield, and the blue team get a massive counter-attacking play on the overcommitment from Orange.
Back at it again, back on the offensive, Tylacto!
There you go.
RLRS, RLCS legend. Tylacto knocks one home off the backboard. That's a wonderful read, a wonderful angle, and way too powerful for, I believe, that was Trico in net.
Yeah, but on the assist there was Orion just getting that dunk. Really smart play of him. That's not a smart play from Tylacto though, as he flops all around the ball. Let's have a look at this. Off the kickoff, Orion and Rowlet pinch it to the same side, and Tylacto just not expecting that ball to pinch the way it did, and he just didn't have the boost or the nerve to hold that aerial, and it was just a very unfortunate play from Tylacto, who we expect so much more from. He was a big bean last week, and he's not been so good this week as another one goes in off kickoff, and this is what Lancaster really need to watch. Yes, they're down by, well, they were down by 2, now down by 3, but they just need to start being a little bit safer on kickoffs. Yes, they want to try and be a little bit more aggressive, get a couple of goals in the next minute or so to give them at least a chance here in game 1. But watch yourself off the kickoff, guys, because you're just going to keep giving goals away if both players back are going for boost.
Seems at the moment Lancaster, it's not about creativity. I think they're just feeling a little bit off today as opposed to yesterday. Because the first game against Reading yesterday was a wonderful performance. The second game, even better. But at the moment, they're definitely not only behind on score, but they're behind on possession, attacks, and even defense, and it's not looking so good as even Tylacto can't find a way past the Swansea defense. But Swansea finding it oh so easy to find their way through Lancaster's.
I mean, you say that Lancaster are way behind on attacking plays. Yes, that's true, but mainly for the last half of the game here as Mac tries to doink it over the entire blue team. Not going his way. Tylacto might get a second for Lancaster. It actually goes out to Mac and he gets the goal. 6 seconds to go. They're not going to win this game. But just going back to their possession and how they've played this game, yes, they've been beaten on possession for the last 2.5 minutes or so, but ever since, I mentioned it earlier, when that first goal went in from Swansea, that's when Lancaster switched on in it and went all out attack, but then it just didn't work out for them as they overcommitted and let Swansea back in. Getting a couple of kickoff goals as well is helping to that factor, and now Raul will get his hat-trick off the dunk here. What happened here? Mac just doinking it up for him and just getting the dunk. Oh, Tylacto actually helped with that.
It's an incredible redirect.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. If only Tylacto can do that in the other half of the field. But a great play from Swansea. All credit to them for taking the first game here. But Lancaster, what I want to see from them is sustain that pressure. But when you get beat, rotate back, take the hit, take the possession hit, get back into defense, and then you can play your game back from there. Don't try and just go all out aggression all the time. Play a little bit safe, come back, get boost, and really meet Swansea in the middle of the field, because that's how they're going to win this game, I think. Or this matchup.
As you say, it's just seems to be a lack of ability to reset after attacking. They just don't reset their minds, get back in defense. All right, start from the back, come up front, and then start scoring again. They've had their chances. I mean, look at that: 4 shots, 3 shots, and 2 shots, respectively, from all 3 members of Lancaster. They are generating the chances. It's just about putting them home for Lancaster now, and making sure their defense stays tight at the same time.
And speaking of defense there, you can see it was 6 saves total from the Swansea side, compared to their 5 shots and 5 goals as well. Yes, it was the other way around. I can't remember who scored them, but the guy who had 3 goals had 2 shots, and the guy with 2 goals had 3 shots.
I think that was the Tylacto moment we had.
Yeah,
we'll just sweep that under the rug.
Yeah,
we're game 2, Swansea against Lancaster.
If you average it out, it's still 100% shooting record technically. It's technicalities, but Turtwig right out of the bat with 100% shooting record so far. One shot, 1 goal, and it's 8 seconds into this game, and Swansea right out the gate making their statement, saying, last game was not a fluke. We are here to play, and we want to go to the grand final.
Absolutely poaching off the defensive mistakes from Lancaster. They were instantly put on the back foot, and Swansea made them pay. I thought there was going to be another mistake from Tylacto there. But Swansea's attack at the moment going full on poaching mode. As soon as there's a mistake or a misstep at all from Lancaster, they are in their way and making a shot. I think the same can be said in terms of the defensive plays. As from one end to the other, Trico takes it and scores.
What happened here? Where was the defense again? Everyone was just completely overcommitted into the blue half. They had no possession on that ball, did any of the Lancaster side, yet they were all in the blue half of the field trying to work it round and take the ball off the other team. No one was rotated back. And that is what has been killing this team, not just in game 1, but here in game 2 as well.
Tylacto needs to get his defense in shape. That was Legis Mac turned around to play that ball. He should have been keeping on rotating towards the net. And Orion, just as I'm talking about bad defense on the Lancaster's part, he says, well, the offense, we're not having any problems. Look at that. That is beautifully placed in that bottom left corner. Wow.
Yeah, that's brilliant placement. It just shows you the talent that is lurking under the mistakes under this Lancaster side. I think they played well in the first half of game 1. They need to start breaking out here. Might get a second. Tylacto shoots from the corner. It's squeezed out by Turtwig, saving the tie game. But Matt keeping this pressure up. Goes off the backboard, and now Trico will take possession of it. Actually lets it go. Oh, that was very dangerous. You've got to clear those ones away when you have the chance.
Lancaster on the front foot this time. This is more looking like the Lancaster we're used to. Generating some offense, getting open nets going on as well. This is actually bad defense from Swansea. No one at the back post to rotate in, and Orion. That's a very Swansea-esque goal. Looking for the mistake and playing off it wonderfully. That there from Rowlett, that's the mistake. There needs to be someone at that back post, a bit further behind from where Turtwig was, to come in and make that save. There wasn't, and Orion was there. Yeah,
and that player at the back, like you mentioned, that should have been Turtwig. He was flat-footed in the middle of the goal, out of the goal by about can you call it about 1.5 feet in Rocket League? I don't know. There's no real measurements, but it was roughly what would you call about a car length and a half. Yeah, he was out of net, way out of position. He should have been at back post, like you said, Dragon, playing that back post rotation, and then he would have had a clearer shot to clear that one away. But Lancaster getting back into this, and they're still aggressing hard, like we saw them in the first half of the first game. But this is a different Lancaster side, invigorated now with a tie game with just over half the game to go. Could see something very interesting happen here in the last half of game 2.
I like though getting a little bit back into it, showing his class and ability for his team, and both of them are playing brilliantly off it. Demetrius Max also making challenges. It's great to see this Lancaster team work like this. They don't just leave everything to Tylacto. They're able to play. Orion and Demetrius are able to play together in offense and in defense. Tylacto, sometimes we do see him spotlighted a lot in this team because of his ability in defense, but there are moments where we just see the Orion come through very, very nicely for their team. In that moment of this tied game, both of them need to step up once again.
What you can see here at the moment is actually Swansea stepping up a little bit more. They've had a couple of shots, but they've let that one go to Tylacto. As where was, again, the defense in this game has been absolutely shocking. Trico just giving possession straight to Tylacto off the corner, not aware of his surroundings. And I think his teammates were expecting him to win that ball, keep possession, while the rest of them go get boost, then they could defend. But he just puts it right into the corner, and Tylacto was ready and waiting.
Getting flashbacks of my own ability in defense, just popping it off of walls straight to an attacker. I'm in Diamond 3, I shouldn't be making those mistakes, but I do.
Yeah. No, in Diamond 3 you really should be.
Anyway, that's enough about my mistakes. Just look at Lancaster and Swansea a bit more. Swansea now stepping forward, a bit more how they would usually, and Rowlett looking for that redirect. Doesn't quite manage to get the touch he wants. Once again, Turtwig. That's a cheeky double right there. That's lovely.
I mean, he didn't get the touch he wanted earlier, but that's a fantastic touch. He was definitely wanting that backboard play, and Orion just caught out by it. Not able to read that too well, and Swansea tying the game back up, 3 goals apiece. Just over a minute to go, a minute 12 left on the clock. And this Swansea side has not scored in a while. They might get a 4th. Straight off the kickoff, like we saw in game number 1, those kickoff goals are really punishing Lancaster, and there's pretty much another one, 10 seconds into the play here, and Swansea just aggressively off the kickoff, putting Lancaster right on the back foot when they don't have any boosts and they're not set up for their plays, and Swansea ahead again.
Want to give a little point out to Turtwig's first shot, slow rolling towards that far near post.
Oh my goodness!
I can't even analyze the last one when Swansea just wants to score more. Back to the kickoffs, like you said, and Tylacto doesn't challenge, and Rowlett finding a look. I don't think that was a doink. I think he got a dodge in there, but
nah, it's not
a nice little redirect up from his roof. Put it home. Another goal from Swansea.
Well, we've seen two kickoff goals in a row. Might see a 3rd. Actually, will be as Orion took the shot. It found Tylacto eventually, and they pulled back within 1. And this is the matchup of kickoff goals. We saw 2 in a row from Swansea in the last game. We've seen 3 in a row here. 2 from Swansea, 1 from Lancaster, and they are going head to head here in the kickoff battle. Who is going to win this one? Actually, I think this might actually go into open play for the first time in 3 goals.
For some reason, I feel like both teams have decided their defenses aren't good enough, so they just want to outscore each other. So they've sort of stopped really caring about the kickoffs, and they just want to score more goals than the other team.
It's a valid strategy. That's how you win. Like literally how you win. Score more goals than the opponent. But both these teams 9 goals in this game already. 20 seconds to go. We could see a couple more as Lancaster trying to tie up the game, because if they lose this one, Swansea will go on to match point in this best of 5.
We just need to score 1 goal in the last few seconds. Can we have one of these 0-second moments? No, we can't. Demetrius Mack doesn't quite get it on top of their car. And it's dropped to the floor at 000, as you like to say. And Lancaster lose the second game. Swansea 2-0 up. They are ready to go through if they take the next game.
Absolutely, and that fight back from Swansea was absolutely incredible. Lancaster were 3-2 up at one point, and then just Swansea kickoff goal. It just went ballistic, and then Lancaster looked like they might get back into it as well. But good hold from Swansea. You can see their save total there as well. 5 saves compared to the Lancaster 3. Just shows you how aggressive Lancaster was being throughout that entire game. And Swansea dealing with it well. And like you said, everyone's just wanting to outscore. No one's really wanting to defend. They all want to be the highest scoring team. Which again is literally how you win Rocket League games. by outshooting and outscoring your opponents. But you've got to play a little bit of defense, make that lead safe, get ahead by 2, maybe 3 goals, then sit back, play defense a little bit. That's what we want to see from these Rocket League teams, because that makes you an all-rounded team. If you're able to attack and then sit back and defend, maybe get a couple of counter-attacks in, that is what makes you a threatening team. And whoever goes through from the grand final here, where it's Swansea in this third game, or if it's Lancaster, if they get the miraculous comeback on the reverse sweep, it's going to be a tough matchup to take down Loughborough in the grand final.
Both those teams will have their work cut out, but I think they're focusing more on this match at the moment, especially Lancaster, who have to conduct a reverse sweep to make it through to that match against Loughborough. And that, oh my goodness! Demetrius Mack! What are you doing? This is tremendous! Pops up in the air, and a fake using the wheels, which slows down the ball to drop it into the net. That was tremendous mechanics from Demetrius Mack.
Oh, the Mack attack is back in full form. Absolutely fantastic. Heads up, knowing that the only way to that ball in would be to hit it off the underside of his car. Like you said, Dragon, it slows it down ever so much. I think if he hit it with his nose, it would have just gone straight at the keeper. But there's Tylacto off the wall. Mack is back in the offense. They're not able to turn that one around. Orion just puts a little bit of a whiff in, but ball will be cleared, but right back into the hands of Tylacto. And now you can see Lancaster getting back into the game. They're starting to rotate. They're starting to pick the ball up from their own half of the field and put some attacking plays on very consistently.
I think Lancaster just want a little bit of drama to be added. After yesterday, they just want to make up for it. They want to have a little reverse sweep. Everyone enjoys themselves, and we have a fantastic final. Swansea, of course, they don't want any drama. They just want to win this one. But at the moment, 1-0 down. Let's see how they do from here. And not very well. Demetrius Mack, what are you doing? He scored 85 last game, and now. I think the bottom of his car is his best friend at the moment. Trapping it against the wall to take it into the middle and score.
Definitely, these soft touches from Mack are just confusing the hell out of the Swansea defense. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know if he's hitting hard or soft. They don't know what Mack is doing. And being unpredictable like that can cause defenses a lot of troubles. And you saw it there from Mack, as he just strong-armed the ball off the opponent in the corner and able to get it on the attack. But that comes down again really to the Swansea communication. We saw it in a goal in the last game as well, where I think it was Trico, or was it Turtway? I think it was Trico who hit the ball into the corner. Meanwhile, the rest of his team expected him to win that ball and then go back onto the offense, but he gave it to Tylacto and they end up scoring. Same happened there, as Demetrius Mack got it off the defending player, whereas everyone else on blue was expecting the defending player to win that ball. and then they might get onto the attack. But good stuff from Mac anyway.
Lancaster have kept this 2-0 lead, as well as in the offense. Tylacto, once again, they are not taking their foot off the pedal. Lancaster are going all-out attack. Almost didn't work out there as Demetrius Mack got in the way of Tylacto's clearance. Once again, they're just straight out, making very long clears, which at the moment currently not working, as they don't quite have either the pace on the ball or an outlet in the middle of the field. Eventually it does work out. Demetrius Mack back once again, trying to get his hat-trick going. And yet another attack not working for Swansea.
And I think I'm seeing a lot of wide rotations here from Swansea. You can see they take one punt at the opponent's net, then they get back into their defensive rotation. And a lot of the time when they go into a defensive rotation, two people go for boost as well and leave this net wide open. You can see there, oh, that's a big overcommitment, but Rilla is back. He will save this one out to Turtwig. Might have a chance on the net there, but not to be from Swansea. But Trico came in to try and at least get a couple of shots on. But you can see here, 2v1 in the defense. That's never a situation you want to have in your own half. And it comes down to Swansea just really rotating quite wide round the pitch, and it lets Lancaster exploit the holes in there and get a big counter-attacking play.
Swansea have not really had a sniff of goal for a long time. Lancaster have gone back to being the tight defensive unit that we were used to during the entirety of league play. They've finally picked it back up again with this 2-0 lead in place. And just 30 seconds to go now. It looks like they will be running away with this third game and keeping the reverse sweep alive.
Yeah, well, they're going to get one back. They need to get a couple more and send it to one more to send it to game 5 at the very least, and then they give themselves a shot. But Swansea in this game, they've fallen away a little bit. Yes, Lancaster have turned up the dial a little bit on their offense, but Swansea, they've really fallen away. No real pressure put on. You can see there, only two shots apiece, and most of them came in this last bit, as Shrika will get the compensatory goal after the clock has hit triple zeros. But again, Swansea, they've just fallen away, and I think maybe could it come down to nerves, Dragon? They're one game away from going to the grand final and taking on Loughborough for the Arrow League's Season 2 Champion Tour trophy. Is a word I was trying to think of. Could nerves be affecting them at this point, because they look very comfortable in the first 2 games, not so much in that game.
I think what was going on is there a little bit of change in play style from Lancaster. Certainly, the previous 2 games, the way that Swansea started scoring was actually by taking Tylacto out of the way and letting Orion and Demetrius kind of panic in a way, worrying about what's going on, do we need to rotate here or there. With Tylacto's experience, that just comes naturally for him. The other 2 guys, a little bit less fluid, and that's how they got the goals. It was just by, Tylacto's not here, we'll just score on that. This time, Tylacto's far more defensive, far more behind everyone. We saw that, of course, Demetrius Mack, he was the guy who scored both the goals. Tylacto wasn't involved, because guess where he was? He was back in his own half, or the midfield, making sure nothing happens. Swansea, they need to try and take Tylacto out of the play again. That's how they're going to find this last game. And
that's really how you win a lot of games, when one team has that star player, in this case Tylacto. You really want, like you said, you want to take him out, demo him a little bit, bash him around in his own half, let the other 2 do the work. But that's not to say Mac and Orion are bad players. They've been fantastic players, as Ryan almost gets a 5-second goal. But Tylacto was definitely the glue holding this team together, and he makes everyone better around him.
That chance there with both Orion and Demetrius on the attack. And even Ty Lacto was in front of the ball. That was a moment. That was a moment where previously they would find a goal, but now they haven't. They are definitely on the defensive once again. There are those moments where everything breaks down a little bit for Lancaster, and that's where Swansea find the opportunities that they aren't finding anymore. Either it is nerves, as you say, or Ty Lacto's just in play to make sure nothing happens.
I think it's a little bit of both, I would say. More so Lancaster turning up that pressure and really just becoming a little bit more of a tight unit. Yes, that win there wasn't as was closer than some of the wins that Swansea had got. They got a 5-2 win in the first game, for example, but there's the first goal in favour of Swansea, and they're off to a flying start as, yeah, let's see, Orion was just trying to clear out, but finds Rowlett and Ty Lacto not prepared for that. We really wanted a bigger, longer, stronger clear from Orion, but we saw it earlier in game 2. Someone just tried to clear off their own wall, and it just goes into the path of an attacking player. You really got to be aware of who's around you, especially there. As Orion tried to put it through Mac for the 1-1 tie, and none of his players can come back in there and try and tie it up. The ball was just left for dead in the middle there, and now Blue will try for a counter attack.
Lancaster not capitalizing on opportunities. Both teams seem to have this moment of, there's an open net, we just need to put it in, and they don't find it. At the moment, Lancaster's going through one of those moments as Orion goes flying over the ball. And now Lancaster are back on defense. But they managed to get out of that tight situation, Swansea. And not finding possible passes. Lacto and Orion almost pinching it into their own net, possibly. Never know in those situations, but once again, Demetrius Mack is definitely becoming the offensive powerhouse for Lancaster as he sets up Ty Lacto with a wonderful bounce pass off the wall. Actually, no, that was Orion, but Demetrius Mack winning the ball, dropping it down to Orion. Orion sending it off the backboard. Ty Lacto sending it home. We have a tied game, 2:40 to go.
But that touch off the backboard as well from Orion, that drew the couple of players out who were sitting in defence in net, probably expecting a shot from that angle with a pinch off the wall, maybe a Doomsday dish tail play. But there's Turtwig powering it through the defence, showing you can just shoot on net and anything can happen. Yes, it was a big cheat up and a big win in the midfield from the blue team, but Turtwig just slotting it through the defence, and now Swansea back on match point.
I like those stuck on the inside of the post. No one quite finding the angle to be able to jump in and stop that from going into the net. But still, both these teams, that is the most clinical finish we've seen from either of these teams, really, in this match. Both of them coming from Swansea. I'm not sure how these teams are playing anymore. It's Lancaster, they're trying to find that little bit of stability that they've always had with Ty Lacto, but he doesn't seem to be quite performing. So Demetrius Mack and Orion are not quite sure how they're meant to be playing at the moment.
Oh.
Thought that was an open net, but Swansea is man back. And Swansea, they just seem to shrink into their own half a little bit too much. So their defense might be strong, but their attack, they're really slow to get out. So Lancaster are able to put a lot of pressure on the other team.
And as we've seen from previous games as well, once Lancaster can put a lot of pressure on, they will just keep hammering the net until they get a goal. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. They might get one here as Matt tries to go over the top. But just finds out Ty Lacto, and no one's going to be back in net. Rowlett rotates back in, but Orion, I believe that might be his first goal of this matchup. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong. And then just putting it in a place where Rowlett wasn't expecting it. Maybe what I took on behind him, but it works out in his favour. And now Lancaster have tied this game back up and have the chance to win it and send it to game 5.
As I said, Swansea shrinking back into their own half, allowing the siege to happen. And with a siege offense, just constantly hammer the ball towards the backboard or the net, and there's going to be a gap formed either due to lack of boost or two players getting desperate and double committing. And that was a case of, I believe, double committing as two players left the net to try and deal with it, leaving a gap for Orion to play into.
There's a chance for Tylacto. Has he got the dunk over, I believe it was Turtwig. Orion trying to put it down. Oh, and everyone spawns back in. And no goal will come of that play. That was Lancaster's chance. Their opportunity to go one goal ahead. But now as we tick down the last 20 seconds of this game number 4, Swansea up 2-1. Could end up seeing overtime. It's another open net, but Tylacto can't get there in time. He puts off the post as well in an open net play. And 10 seconds to go. Like I said, that could be the play that could have seen them go into the grand final, or at least it would have at least sent this to game 5. But we could well see overtime. They'll have one more opportunity before we get there, before this ball drops down, unless they keep it up. Mac puts it in the middle. Orion's there. Oh, he puts it on. What a save from Turtwig. It's still going as Tylacto tries to take it off the wall, and it will finally drop for overtime. 3 chances for Lancaster, 3 saves for Swansea, and we find ourselves in overtime game 4.
I genuinely want to say this is Rocket League, but it looks like Turtwig
Could only say that if it went in.
that chance.
Only if it went in.
I know, Turtwig denied me the chance of saying those golden words. At the moment, Swansea, the reset is coming just in time as their offense is able to get another chance, but Tylacto staying strong in net. We will not be having a Swansea goal, at least for the time being. Cletus Mack sets up Tylacto. Tylacto gets in the way. It's still Lancaster's ball. They do have possession, but not anymore. But Swansea doesn't capitalise on the opportunity. Oh, this overtime. These two teams, they just need one goal. So flick. Tylacto doesn't find the net. And it's still alive.
Still alive for the moment, but it is big pressure here from Lancaster. I thought maybe with that reset coming in on the overtime, it might have given Swansea a chance to come off the kickoff, as we know how prolific they are on kickoffs throughout this entire series. Doesn't go the way. They did have a few chances in the first 30 seconds or so, but now we're easily and comfortably into open play in a minute and just over a minute and 20 seconds into this overtime. It's very even at the moment, but there's the shot from Turtwig, just goes off the post. Tylacto will take it round. There's no one in net, but he's not going to be able to get into a prime position to shoot until everyone is back in defense. That was their opportunity a couple of times for both Swansea and Lancaster, but here comes the pressure from Lancaster.
Now we're suddenly in open play. Lancaster will definitely prefer it from here. Tylacto getting a
there
slow
you
play,
go.
and he takes it to game 5. 1 minute and 50 gone in this overtime. Tylacto just slows it down. Rowlett doesn't expect it. Still has the control. Sends it to the top shelf. And Crafters, game 5, here we come.
Here we go. Lancaster on the comeback trail, and it's that man in the middle there, Tylacto, who has led this team back into the glory that they are now going to experience here in game number 5. 2 goals for Tylacto off of 6 shots. And he's just making this team a better team. I said this in the last game that they won as well. He is just making these players play a lot better when they're around him, and they're better off for it. They've been trying to pass to each other when Tylacto's out of the play. Orion and Mac can step up a little bit more. Mac has been absolutely outstanding. Maybe not so in that game, but in the game previously where they won, the Mac attack had a fantastic. You remember that first goal? It was a few seconds into the game, just off the underside of his car. Makes the Mac attack, as I'm now going to refer to him from here on forth, the Mac attack. As thank you, Trad. Our broadcaster's just telling us how great I am. But don't give us that message. Don't want to see servers going down. But yeah, Orion and Mac, when Tylacto's not been around in the play, he has stepped up. They both have stepped up and are really giving Swansea some problems in defense.
Definitely, Demetrius Mac definitely knows how to step up. definitely knows when he needs to go on the attack, how to make the right shot, as we saw in that game. I believe it was game 3. Just off the bottom of his card, drops it down, and it was absolutely amazing. So,
yeah, well, it was game 3. It was right at the start of game 3 as well. So and we talk about first goals a lot. It's not really been a factor here in that last game. You saw first goal came from Swansea, and then they were just pretty much on the back foot as Lancaster just progressed their attack over and over again, and just gave them so many problems. Sometimes that first goal can just spark that little bit of confidence in you to make you play a little bit better, to make you try and find your team a little bit more. Especially getting a really quick goal. I think it was in game number 2, 8 seconds into that game, Swansea got their first goal. Did end up going to 5-4 as Lancaster made the comeback. But yeah, first goals certainly not been a factor in this one, because I think we quote this stat all the time. It's something like 70% when you score the first goal, you end up winning that game. Certainly not a factor in this, as both teams are playing. Yes, they weren't playing their best earlier on, but now they're starting to get towards here. And I think game number 5, we're going to see the best out of both these teams as they fight for that place in the grand final.
It's all about this game. We're just trying to get our players involved. I think Swansea are just giving us a moment. Let us recollect our thoughts after that game. My goodness, taking it into overtime. Tylacto showing his experience, showing how calm he can be, both on offense and defense, as he took it up the pitch, and then just took a moment, think, okay, just slow play this. Just give myself a moment, step back, let's win this and take it to game 5. The reverse sweep, it's on the table. It's all about Lancaster taking this opportunity and going all the way with it. As we have the players joining now, we're ready. I hope you're ready. Game 5, here we go.
And it's all for Lancaster to play for. Not sure if we mentioned this earlier, but their last meeting was in the group stage, and Lancaster ended up winning that in 4 games, taking the first 2, losing the third, and then winning the 4th game 1-0. So Lancaster, a tricky squad for Swansea to get past. Let's see if they can defeat their kryptonite here in the final game before we go to our grand final.
Great stop from Tylacto there, just coming straight across net, making the save known, and Rowlett replying to Tylacto with another great save over his head. It's like training's coming to players. The passing from Swansea doesn't quite connect, but trying to get that going, which is good early in this game. If you get it going now, it'll definitely be coming down later. Lancaster once again on the front foot in open play, and Deleterus Mac almost finds the net with another gorgeous play with a flip through, just using the side of the card, just sort of get the direction, and even the speed was right, just throwing off this Swansea team with an unpredictable shot. That's how Deleterus Mac plays. A little bit unpredictable, but he gets results.
We mentioned that unpredictability earlier on, and we've talked about it a couple of times with that drop goal off the bottom of his car. He can throw up any play at any time, and the defense is going to have to be ready for it. They were ready for it at that time, but they're just going to have to be ready for the next time he goes at it, because Tylacto gets Mac into great spaces, and then Mac just does the rest. But 2 minutes into this game so far, or just coming up for that, and this is the first time that we've seen no goals within the first couple of minutes, and both these teams very, very nervy as they want to play a little bit more defense. And I would see this game, you think of normal games when they go to overtime, you sit back a lot and you don't want to make the first mistake. This is pretty much an overtime game in the series, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where if you make that one mistake, you give your opponents the edge, and then that could be it for the rest of the game. But 2.5 minutes in, 2.5 to go. I think one goal will swing this, and it might go in Trico's favour, and it will. As two players bumped each other in the defence, it was Tylacto and Orion. Orion got the poor touch away, and then Mac just bumps Tylacto back into the net with no chance to save that ball. And like we were saying, that could be that 1-goal swing that gives Swansea the win here. 2.5 minutes still to go, though. Time will only tell.
I think Tylacto was actually at fault there,
no.
just committing a little bit too early, and it looks like he's reverting back to his game 1 and 2 self. He's just not quite playing how he wants to. Doesn't get the hits he wants to. So Lancaster find themselves 2 goals down in this game 5.
They fought back from this difference before. It's not all over, but again, we see Swansea just so dangerous off the kickoff, and Lancaster just leave them open to attack right off of it. As Orion puts it in the middle, it was a good touch, but he didn't realise Tylacto was right behind him and not in a position to take that pass. But there's a pass in his own half. Mag to Orion, and the big long goal will come with 2 minutes to go.
I've scored quite a lot of these, and I can only say that it's just the defense not quite I leave one of them committed a little bit too late on that, not quite reading the play right, seeing where it was going, seeing which play was taking that, just leaving an open net for Lancaster to play on. I scored quite a few goals like that, so I know exactly what's going on defense.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness! Demetrius Mack and Orion proving why it's not just a Tylacto show. They have this offense on lockdown, and Tylacto just trying to join in there with a lovely shot on target.
And there's
some shots on target.
Yeah,
There it is.
Great one from Orion, making up for his mistake where it rattled off the post, and he just touched it out himself. But there you go, a big wide rotation again from the Swansea, leaving that net open, not expecting the attack really by the looks of things, and they've left that net wide open for the 2-2 draw. And Dragon, as we tick into the last 90 seconds of this, it is, for me, it's impossible to call because both these teams are so even in their play style. Who do you think it's going to be, and who do you think is going to score the winner?
As long as Lancaster survived that about 20 seconds after a kickoff where Swansea seemed to get possession very easily, then I reckon Lancaster could take it from here. We're definitely in open play at the moment, and with the last minute ticking down, you would say Lancaster have the ability, as Tylacto almost threads it into that upper 90.
Good play from Tylacto there to find Mac, who was back. Didn't have a lot of boost, but it just relieves the pressure a little bit as he wants to get boost himself. Has to rotate back there as Rowlett was taking the shot. But he'll take a shot himself. Oh, great touch from Tylacto under the defender, and Lancaster ahead with 38 seconds left.
Wasn't just under, this was just hesitation. Rowlett completely expecting the full-on quick attack from Tylacto, but he ends up... I'm trying to think of a Pokemon move that's a low kick? I can't even remember if there is one like that. I said quick attack and I thought I'd roll with it, but I don't remember moves that easily. But Tylacto, great hesitation to send that home.
Dragon used analysis that was super effective.
Crafters used a pun, it was super effective. Oh my goodness. Anyway, last 10 seconds, the drama recommences, especially for Swansea. They're trying to stave off this reverse sweep that could be about to happen, especially as it is in the Swansea half, about to drop. Demetrius Mack looking for the last one. There it is, the nail in the coffin. Lancaster versus Loughborough for our league season 2.
He didn't need it at this point, but it was great play from the entire Lancaster squad just to confirm the victory. 10 seconds to go in that game, and Swansea had a chance, but Lancaster holding strong in defence and booming it downfield to secure the victory. And Lancaster, a big, say it with me, Dragon, reverse sweep.
Reverse yes, boys!
I wasn't going to say reverse yes. Oh, jeez. I deliberately didn't say that because, anyway. Anyway, congratulations to Lancaster. You were the better out of the two teams today, and big up on the big reverse sweep as well. Swansea, they played brilliantly, I think, in the first couple of games, but they just fell away as Lancaster just got into the swing of things, got their play style going, and they took it to Swansea. But Swansea, those kickoff goals, man, gotta watch out for them. So Swansea, I'm looking out for them in future tournaments.
It definitely looks strong, especially going into October when the NSE hopefully kickstarts, especially for Rocket League. But of course, Rocket League isn't the only game going on. But we're only interested in the Rocket League. Let's be honest. Rocket League is our thing. But Swansea, definitely, if they keep this roster going, I can definitely see them. Come October, they'll look fantastic.
Definitely. So, big up to Swansea. We've seen them here a few different times at this high level. I think you mentioned this earlier. They went undefeated during the group stage, actually only losing to Lancaster one game to 3, as we mentioned. So Lancaster really their kryptonite, as now they will go out of our league season 2. And Lancaster, as we've been saying, moving on to Loughborough in the grand final. And it's all to play for. And now what will be a bracket reset game. Who will take the crown? Will it be Loughborough or will it be Lancaster?
I believe it's actually a weighted best of 7, so Loughborough will be having that.
Best of 7, guys.
It's wasted best.
Thank you, Murphy, for confirming what I said. But it is a weighted best of 7.
Well, Smash looked wrong then. Blame Smash. Hashtag blame Smash. So yeah, weighted best of 7. Loughborough go into that game advantage. So Lancaster needing to win 4 games. Loughborough only needing to win 3, and we will see that after this short break. But that's it for Dragon, actually. We're going to get Digital Bacon in to cast the final along with myself. So thank you. Dragon, do you have any final words before we cut you off?
I'm going to put in a prediction instead. Something a little bit more interesting than just me saying goodbye. I'm actually thinking Loughborough are going to take this 4-3. It's going to be a great fight from Lancaster. I think Loughborough, they just look incredible this season. They looked incredible last season. They look incredible this season, and I reckon they're going to take this trophy. But
I'll have a prediction for you in a little bit. Sorry, I cut you off there. Literally cut
but
you
anyway,
off.
Including my prediction, I'd like to say thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for watching my game. But tune in after this break for Crafters and Digital Bacon taking the grand final of our league season 2. They'll see you then.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has come down to this. League play and a playoff bracket to boot. We are now down to one more matchup for the Arrow League Season 2 Grand Finale. The winner of this will be the last ever winners of Arrow League as well, so that is a mighty title to have. I'm Craftman, joined this time by Digital Bacon. We have waved goodbye to the dragon, and we have cooked ourselves up some bacon.
Yep, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make this a tasty old treat, an absolute feast for us. It is a best of 7, weighted a little bit, so it'll only be 6 games. Grand final. And well, this is definitely looking to be a good one. Loughborough University going up against Lancaster. You guys just saw it on stream there. Lancaster absolutely bombing home. A reverse sweep to be able to earn their spot here. Crafters, my worry here is, in the finals, a reverse sweep again is just going to... I think I'm not going to be able to handle it.
Oh, it would completely annihilate Lancaster if they're going to have to do a reverse sweep again. Loughborough, like we said, it's a weighted final. So if Loughborough win the first 2 games, they're on match point already. So it could be 3 games. We could have 3 games and we're done here. But if they win that 3 games, it's going to be tough for Lancaster to fight back because they've already had to do it once. Then they would have to do it in a best of 7 match. Not ideal. Especially once you've gone through that trauma. We saw Ryan tweet just after that game as well that he was literally shaking to get through to this final, so I don't think Ryan can handle the pressure even more. Never mind Tylato and Mac as well. But Loughborough, they've been sitting here for a while waiting for this game to start. Probably been practicing a little bit, but they've been watching everyone just play their matches. It's Matt M, Mitch, and I would get this wrong every time. He told me at RLC that's how you say it. I'm still going to say it wrong. Gorgius? I think it's Gorgius. Someone's going to correct me anyway.
Let's just call him Gorgeous. You know, let's just give him a little compliment at the same time.
Can we just call him Gorgeous?
Gorgeous.
But
yeah, Crafters, yeah. I'm going to agree with you there. This is a worrying one. We saw last week that Lancaster got dropped 3-0 by Loughborough. That was just a straight sweep. Lancaster were only able to fit in 1 goal. So this is going to be a super scary game for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you've got to think back to the last time these guys met as well. In the upper bracket of this playoff, the only time they met was in the winners' final only a couple of weeks ago, and Loughborough just annihilated. Or excuse me, it was in the winners' semi-final. Or was it? Yes, it was the winners' semi-final. We actually saw that on stream. I think it was myself and you actually taking that game a couple of weeks ago.
Over on my own channel as well.
Yeah. Let's say go follow at Digital Bacon Gaming on Twitch. There you go. At CraftmanRL on Twitter. I prefer if you follow me on Twitter. But yeah, Lancaster, they were a completely different team back then. Tylato was not playing at his best, and Loughborough just completely wiped the floor with them. 3-0 sweep. And those games were not close at all. Yes, okay, the game number 3 was a 1-0, but it was just inevitable at that point that Loughborough were going to win. Let's see how they roll it back in this one. As actually Mish is, or excuse me, who is it? Matt M's not actually playing this game. It's actually TDB, who I believe was the sub earlier or the sub last week as well for the missing Matt M. But he performed extremely well. And Loughborough still a tough team to take out here.
Yep, Loughborough an incredibly tough team today, especially when, like we said earlier, with Lancaster, Tylato just not really seeming on top form today. So it's a scary old lineup. It can go any way. Matt M, of course, missing the strongest player from Loughborough. But TDB has shown some good signs in the past. 1 minute already down, not a goal to be had, but the ball has definitely been in Lancaster's favour a little more often than not able to put it away in net. Always the curse from Lancaster, and the curse of Tylato still continues. The lad whiffing left, right and centre.
Oh, Tylato whiffed in, Orion whiffed as well, and it let Loughborough push through for that tiny little opportunity. They'll slow the play down back in their own half for a little bit. And that's what Loughborough need to do against Lancaster, because they were Lancaster were really aggressive in that lower bracket final even, as that was a big opportunity for Loughborough. It just bounces off the crossbar and off the post, off of everywhere on that goal line. Doesn't go in, but again, Lancaster, they're extremely aggressive in the lower bracket final. Lots of goals, not a lot of defense. They need to play defense here as Loughborough will just go all out attack here. TDB almost getting the first goal. But Lancaster, they need to start sitting back a little bit more, play a little bit of defense, and then beat out the opponent in the middle of the field.
Solace that Lancaster have now is that they're not the only team that are whiffing, Craftman. This has definitely been a bit of a shaky opening to game number 1 here in the grand finals. It's the grand finals, so it's understandable. Always up in the air. Ryan with a big beefy clear, trying to find that space down into the blue corner. Deleterious Mac with a nice 50-50 at block it. It's all still in time so that Tylacto can get forward.
Ooh.
Save made by Mish.
And you saw Mac there just waiting just in front of the goal. Could have faked out a player. I think he was going up for the ball, maybe even just to fake it and confuse the defense a little bit more. But that is what Mac has been doing. He's just been completely unpredictable in that lower bracket final, and he's been a little bit unpredictable here. But I really hope he's communicating with his team to coordinate his unpredictability.
Tylacto with the hit is centered, not a teammate there. You can definitely see Orion pulling up the defensive position. He doesn't want any mistakes to be made. This could be a game of one goal. Ooh, close there. The ball into the center. TDB and Gorgeous both double committing onto it. Delirious Mac not going to be able to touch that. Tylacto sits back and will hold this midfield.
We've been holding midfield for most of the game here, especially in the last couple of minutes or so. You look at the shot count, they only have 3 shots compared to Loughborough's 4, but you feel the possession has been all pretty much with them. Oh, as Gorgeous comes in, almost gets a touch on it. Now Ryan will maybe get a chance, just whiffs it, leaves it for Mish, wide open net. Everyone really expecting Orion to get a touch there and clear it long. But he whiffs it and his team left the net wide open. Got to be dangerous for that and communicate as soon as you know when you're going to miss a ball.
Mish over to Gorgeous. Tylacto with the save. Definitely a brilliant one there to be able to hold this off. The counter coming out. Not enough speed in that, and Mish doing very well to use that back wall to get it away. Ball back in the center. Ryan can't do it. Tylacto with the first pot. The little fake, but he can't do it either. Not a single player yet able to register a goal.
Not a goal register, but plenty of shots and plenty of opportunities for both teams. Lancaster there, you saw Tylacto just playing a couple of mind games, and you've really got to do that at this stage of the game. Less than a minute to go, and no one's scored a goal. You've got to really start playing the mind games at that point, and then it all becomes who can hold their nerve. Oh no!
Just across. Gorgeous there, just going to be thanking his lucky stars that he didn't do an own goal, because that would absolutely kill the morale of this Loughborough team. Into the middle. Tylacto going wide once again. The lad just can't catch a break today.
He can. He certainly cannot. And we talked about a little bit before we got into this matchup as well. These guys have just reverse sweeps a best of 5. They are not in the best mindset, as they almost concede in overtime 10 seconds in. Tylacto just holding his nerve a little bit, but he's not been really too confident with the rest of his team when they've got into offense. They're just putting weak shot after weak shot, and that's certainly a result of the big match they just had against Reading. Swansea even. And there's a Ryan with the 30-second goal in overtime. He fakes it there. No one really got a touch there, and it just stayed in the middle, and no one was prepared for that shot. Mish got the touch, couldn't get it out, and Lancaster, a nervy start, but they take the first game and tie the series. Yeah, after the first game, they've tied the series. Well done.
Yeah, it only took one goal. It's weird. It was a fabled 1-goal game. Lancaster just being able to get it. It was a nervy one there. Tylacto definitely with 2 left feet, and the problem is he's a right-footed striker, not going to be able to put anything away. But the silver line there today, Craftman, is his defense has been absolutely on point, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. You can see that for four saves on his own, as well as the 2 from Mac. Lancaster have been really solid in the rotations, and compared to Swansea, who they played in the last game, where their rotations were quite wide open. Loughborough have been sort of playing really similar to Lancaster, and that's why you saw that 0-0 overtime. No one able to break through because they're both really similar playstyles. But Tylacto, like you said, a big man in defense, and he was there in defense in the lower bracket final, and he's here in defense on the grand final as well.
Well, Loughborough have effectively just thrown the advantage. We're now sitting at a best of 5, even Stevens between these two teams. But Tylacto, Orion, and Deleterious Mac, well, yeah, they're going to be quite happy because they've got the morale coming into this game, Crafters. They are going to feel good, and well, they should do. It's a sunny day here at Champions Field, getting into game number 3. Feels always so weird saying that with these weighted grand finals and close to getting an early kickoff goal.
And that's what we wanted to see from Loughborough, just aggression straight out the gate. They are the undefeated champions of the upper bracket. So I think that is their first loss that they have suffered throughout this entire playoff bracket. And they suffered at the hands of Lancaster, and they're suffering at the hands of them now. 30 seconds in, Tylacto has the first.
Yeah, Tylacto's finally found his right foot and put that away with so much power. 110 kph. Just so much behind that, making sure that not a defender was going to be able to get it near enough from point blank range as well. Crafters, this is the first time that Lancaster has got the opening goal against their opponents. Well, technically the last game was, but that was in overtime. Can we really call that an opening goal?
No, you can't really, but it adds to the stat, I suppose. The first goal scored is the winner, but there you go. Loughborough, they need to start getting onto the offense a little bit more because they've not really seen them there. As was saying, Lancaster just holding that midfield and taking as many shots as they possibly can. As now Orion tries to push it through, and Tylacto again just holds this ball in the blue half, and it allows his team to rotate back, get a lot more boost, and then they just go after the net once again. There's Orion into the middle, gorgeous, just controlling that one, trying to give his team an opportunity in the orange half of the field because they've not had it here in game number 2 so far.
Yeah, Orion actually has been my MVP so far this evening. His attacking pressure that he can put on just works hand in hand with Tylacto's defensive midfielder. He's just, the demo coming from Orion as well. Hopefully Deleterious Mac can get up into the air. No, well done by Gorgeous. The back pass from Mish to TDB. Off to the backboard. Can it go all the way to the races? No. That's kept away by Tylacto. Back into the middle. Deleterious Mac does get a little touch to send it off to the side, basically forcing that. Tylacto on his own, not a player back. Mish being given time, but that demo from Gorgeous was everything that Loughborough needed there.
Yes, great communication from Loughborough, just being very aware of where their opponents are, where they are on the field as well. You saw there, it was a pass back from Mish to Gorgeous, I believe it was, or I think it was to Mish, in fact. No goal came out of it, but it is heads up play from this Loughborough side to try and get the first goal as Mish takes the shot. But I think that is the first shot for Loughborough throughout the first 2.5 minutes of this game. They might get a second. Tylacto actually almost puts it in himself. But there you go. This is where Loughborough start to break out. They need to get some momentum going. Need to get that first goal back because they've not scored in 7.5 minutes, coming up for 8 minutes now as well. You really need to start scoring if you want to get your morale up.
Yeah, and Loughborough walking a tightrope here, Craftman, to get that pressure there to use so much boost. It's really hurting them when they have to retreat to the defense. Deleterious Mac proving my point beautifully.
And it was just, you see the two defenders in net there, they're just completely flat-footed in net. One route should really be deeper in net, one should be at the back post, so they have a better angle on the ball to try and clear it away. That didn't happen. They probably just miscommunicated a little bit, and they just panicked and ended up whiffing that ball. And now it's 2-0 in favour of Lancaster, and they could go ahead in the series.
That was quite ambitious by Gorgeous back there. Went in, bumped the goalie, but didn't have the follow through on the strike. Definitely situations like that have to be perfect, otherwise you're just basically throwing away possession. Mish doing well on the backboard to keep it away. Delirious Mac will hand this over to TDB. Follow up from Gorgeous, puts it brilliantly on that backboard. He's in the air with the drag, trying to get that to Mish.
Oh,
And Tylacto with the mistake will allow Mish to get the goal.
what happened here? There was complete ping pong around the entire defender, but Gorgeous, fantastic play off the wall, finding Mish there, and then it's just, it was just that bounce off the Tylacto. It was going to go in anyway, but Tylacto couldn't get the key hit he needed to clear it away. But now Loughborough back into this game, just over a minute left, and Loughborough have given themselves an opportunity. That's got to feel good. Your first goal in this series, and it comes just over a minute left in game number 2. But there's a great shot chance there from Orion. Couldn't push it through in time. Actually going to leave his net wide open. Actually rotates now back in time. But what a chance for Lancaster as they conceded that goal off a great play from Loughborough. And they almost get a great play themselves and almost up 3-1. Mac just gets defended.
Lancaster are really stepping this up in the attack. Their cohesion in defense is a little bit lackluster, but when you've got Tylacto back there, it's not the biggest problem. But their attack, these lads are so threatening. All into the orange corner. Lancaster need to get this away. Remember, 1 goal separating these two teams. Gorgeous, not really sure what to do. A little bit of a mishap in communication. Orion clears it to blue corner. TDB down to the ground. Mish looking for a teammate with the ball popped in the center. Gorgeous off to the backboard. Can he dunk it down? No. Orion clears it away. This will hit. Oh, it's not going to hit.
Oh, it didn't actually. Oh my goodness.
This is a hard one to control. No, the ball hits the ground. And I didn't think coming into this game that I was going to be saying that. But Lancaster take the first 2 games.
Yeah, they take the first 2 games and they go up by 1 game to 2 in Loughborough. Looking a little bit nervy, I would say. Yes, they got their first goal and they had a couple of moments of offensive pressure that looked like it might work. In Lancaster, you see there, Mac only got 1 save out of that. The single save for his team. But it was just enough as Mish only put 2 shots on his own. But Loughborough, they've really got to start taking possession for themselves. That's what led to that goal that they ended up getting. I think you just saw it in the background there, bouncing off Tylacto into the net. But I think they need to start making some plays of their own. Yes, Gorgeous got that pass off the side wall, finding that teammate. Do that a little bit more. Get into great positions in your opponent's half, and you could potentially tie the series back up now.
Yeah, the problem we're seeing... Oh, server just going down. That's the problem we're seeing right now. But the problem is, without Matt M there, who was such a massive attacking force, Loughborough are lacking that a little bit. They can get down to opponents back of the back end of the field. The problem is they just can't find the net. In the last 2 games, they've only been able to register 1 goal compared to, admittedly, Lancaster's 3. But Lancaster weren't that massive aggressive force, were they? They were just near enough doing it by a 1-goal margin and holding it.
Absolutely.
Loughborough need to put that pressure on Crafters.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, yes, all their victories in that lower bracket game, 2-1, 3-2 in overtime, and then 3-2 right in game 5 as well. Every game that they've won so far has been by a 1-goal margin. We saw, and we still see it again. 1-0 in overtime in game 1 here, 2-1 there in game number 2. Both teams, Loughborough is in this game the entire way, but Lancaster just beats them out every single time. And it's I think Loughborough, they must be getting really frustrated at it because they know they have the opportunity to take a goal off of them every here and then, potentially push it to overtime, and they've just really maybe getting a little bit frustrated. So I think they just need to calm themselves down. Maybe this extended break here will allow them to do that. But just play their own game, slow it down to their pace or speed it up, and just beat out Lancaster, because Lancaster have been trying to outscore their opponents. Loughborough have been really defensive. Something's got to give. It has been Lancaster with the big attacking plays, and Loughborough's defense just breaking down a little bit. But I think Loughborough, if they just tweak it ever so slightly, that they come push out a field just a little bit more, and they start pushing into the orange half, that's when we start to see them get back into this matchup.
Yep, I completely agree there. This long break is going to be brilliant for Loughborough, because all that momentum sort of just dies with a long break. It just doesn't happen anymore. So going into this, what is effectively game number 4, got to remember that Lancaster have taken the last 2 games. They're into the league. They've got the advantage going into this. So they're probably just going to play a little bit more cautiously. I'd imagine it here, Crafters, where they're just going to make sure, once again, they just win by 1 goal. How do they just sort of like not get complacent? That's my problem here. That sort of style, it's quite easy to get complacent, and they need to start putting those shots on again. And throughout the whole series, Orion has been the massive aggressive force. If he has to start working on defense, I could see big problems for Lancaster. Game number 4. Lancaster versus Loughborough. 2-1 in Lancaster's favour. They have completely come out today and put surprises on us all, going 2-0 down against Swansea in the lower finals, and they have not dropped a game since. Ty Lacto taking this to the wall. He's going to look to go for that solo ball. A little bit out wide, actually leaves it, maybe trying to fake out one of the defenders up into the air. Mish not going to be able to reach it, but well done. Gorgeous is there. Still only a Squirtle, this lad, after a win, will earn the rights to call himself a War Turtle. He's got to work here, though. Get those goals. So far, been so lackluster.
Indeed, it has been, but it's good. It was a good start there for Loughborough as they dealt with the Lancaster attack immediately and then got right back onto the offense. That's what we want to see from Loughborough, and yes, it didn't work out in their favour that time, but could see it work out maybe a kick-off or 2 away.
Mac, he's on the attack, not going to be able to find the net though. Off the goal it goes, and he's actually thrown off Orion there. Oof, defender's not thrown off. Mish with a big hit downfield. Ty Lacto sitting back in net. A very deep defense from him. TDB. Maybe we'll get onto that, and Gorgeous picks it up. Orion in a very awkward position. Has to just jump here, hoping to get something on the ball, and does. Literus Mac on the attack. 50-50 does go in the favour of Lancaster, but they can't get to the ball quick enough.
And going forward in this game, 2 minutes in, still, or coming up for 2 minutes in, even, still no goal. But I think my player to watch here is going to be Mish, as he tried to play a couple of mind games about 30 seconds ago in the Lancaster defence, working out. But if Mish could pull those off, fake out a player, we could see some great goals from him.
Coming into this series, I was going to say, Dragon predicting that Lancaster would go into, take it to the game 7. I thought it was ridiculous, but who knows? He could just be right here, Craftman, as they are looking so informed today, whereas Loughborough, a limped attempt at this. Maneuvers like that from Gorgeous, nowhere near the ball. Nice hit, but well done by Mish to keep away. Definitely, Crafters, you're right. CNA is holding this team up.
Yeah, he's really the Ty Lacto player on that Loughborough side, just the glue that holds this team together, makes them work as one. Obviously, he's not got the pedigree of a player like Ty Lacto, not got the name, but he fires one in and gets the scoring going finally here in game number 3.
Well, Mish has got something Ty Lacto doesn't, a goal in game number 4. 2 minutes, 5 seconds remaining, and that was just absolutely forced into the net.
Indeed it was, but you just see the defense there. I think you mentioned it before this game started. Complacency from the Lancaster side. They might think, yeah, we got this in the bag, we only need 1, 2 more. It's been well, they might think it's been easy game so far. It has certainly not been easy. This Loughborough side have been putting up one heck of a challenge already here in the grand final as Ty Lacto goes for the backboard plays. The fancy touches not working out that time. Almost allowed Gorgeous through for a counter attack, but now Loughborough They are fired up. Seeing Tylacto do that to them on their own backboard has got to light a fire down somewhere deep inside for Loughborough, and they will try and get the 2-0 lead.
1 minute 15 remaining. Tylacto off the wall. Big hit downfield. He does have Demetrius Mack there. Tylacto thinking better of the opportunity. And Orion is still lingering. Can be able to get hit here. Risky business going on. But Tylacto knows the risk here. He is a veteran. And you can see it here, Craftman. His nerves. They are more than steel. They're titanium at this point.
Oh, definitely. He's been in more tense situations than this. Oh, but he's got an opportunity to try and keep that one away. He does so successfully with the help of his team. He might get a long goal here as Mish was far downfield, races back and gets that one. Not safe yet, it is safe now as TDB clears it long. But trying to hold strong is the Loughborough defense, and Mack will take the shot off the backboard, looking for a player. Tylacto is there. He'll come in. Mish couldn't get the touch, and we are tied at 1.
Fancy goals just won't cut it for Tylacto. He's not been granted that today, but a nice little cut across. That will do just the right thing to tie this game up, making it 1-1. The problem with Loughborough still remains that lack of boost in the defense. They have to retreat and they can't pick up any of the 100s. Demetrius Matt doing massive work to get that off to the side. Ryan keeping it to that wall, just let it hit the ground. We've got another overtime.
Third overtime of the day, second of this grand final. It has been all Lancaster so far in this grand final, but Loughborough, with this shrivel of hope that they will have here in game number 3, effectively game 4, if Lancaster win this, they will go on to match point, and it will be Loughborough who will have to pull off the reverse, almost pretty much the reverse sweep. Yes, they have a game in hand as they came from the upper bracket, but it is essentially a best of 5 reverse sweep they will have to pull off.
That is a massively difficult task. One that Lancaster have done today. Tylacto looking to put into the centre. Can't connect with the teammate. TDB up on the ball. He's not got the boost to be able to catch up, and Orion clears downfield. Demetrius Mack can't get the touch. Orion straight onto it. These follow-ups, these shadow plays coming out from Lancaster are definitely patching the holes in their abilities. Mish down far into the corner. TDB once again not going to be able to reach it. Mack does give the hand over. Tylacto popping that pass. Matt can't get the hit. Mish just not going to be able to get a touch, and TDB is demoed. Mish waiting out this midfield. Gorgeous does get the touch, but it's a nothing hit, just trying to buy time for the respawn. And oh no, Orion has just done a little whoopsie, handing the ball over to his opponent, starting a counter-attack. TDB up into the air. No one going to be able to get onto this, and Orion does hit it away.
You can certainly see how much Loughborough have been getting back into this series, but they leave the net wide open and give the ball straight to Tylacto. That's never an option you have to consider, as Tylacto is sitting right on that midfield line. It was a poor clear from the Loughborough side, and Tylacto just picks it up and pops it into the empty net. Lancaster, they might have came into this grand final a game down from the losers bracket, having only just reverse swept against Swansea Storm Green, but they are firmly on match point, and 3 games plays the one that has been given to Loughborough. They've not even won a game yet. That has got to be weighing heavy on their minds. Again, another 1 goal difference and another overtime. Like we've been saying, Lancaster have only won their games today by 1 point. And Loughborough, I think the script was flipped a little bit I felt they were keeping possession a little bit more than they had in the first couple of games, and they were starting to find each other, find their rhythm a little bit more. But it was just ends up coming down to that one error, and if you're giving errors away like that in overtime, that is something that is not a championship caliber team will end up doing. Loughborough, clean up your errors because you've been playing well. Now bring it and get that reverse sweep.
Remember as well, though, Craftman, that Loughborough have not played tonight on stream before. So Lancaster did come in warm and very, very warm after winning that series with reverse sweep. Like I said, Lancaster have now gone 5 games in a row without losing a single one. The big difference here, though, and this point that is still worrying and a glimmer of hope here for Loughborough, is that Lancaster have only won those games by a single goal, especially in this series. 1-0, 2-1, and then 2-1 once again in overtime. It has been so tight, so close. Loughborough just have to turn it up one little extra bit. They have got those attacks in place. It's the retreats back down into defense that is their massively crucial problem. The lads can do it, and well, they've got to step right up to the plate to do it, because Lancaster, nobody would have thought it going into this. Maybe some sort of lizardy creature sitting in chat might have, but they have done the near impossible and are so far sweeping Loughborough to take it to 3-1. That's right, they are on match point.
Lizardy creature. Love it. Oh, that's great. But yeah, match point right now for Lancaster. It's been a tough run for them. We mentioned this earlier. The last time these two teams met, excuse me, in the upper semi-finals, and Loughborough took out Lancaster 3 games to 0. But Tylacto making up for it here, as 14 seconds into this crucial game 4, he takes the lead, and Loughborough are left searching for answers.
Now that is a quick kickoff goal for Lancaster. We've seen in the past how much, and you even said it earlier in the stream, Craftman, how those first goals are so important. Stats do tell a little tale under all those nerdy numbers, but it's still true. Lancaster could do the sweep. Mish into the corner, trying to get that bounce, but Tylacto waits behind. Once again, these shadow plays from Lancaster proving to be the strongest meta here in Arrow League. Mac can't get it past into center. Gorgeous flicks it out for Mish, and Mish taking it high, trying to buy as much time for his teammates to get forward. Just can't get the touch. TDB does get past. Mish is there. The 50-50 pinch does take it downfield, and Tylacto demoed. This is the time to strike. Gorgeous off the backboard. There is Mish.
Oh.
But Tylacto respawns back in and saves his entire team from an equalizer.
And that is the mental stability that Tylacto brings to this team. He knows where that he's going to spawn. His random number generator for the respawn, but there's TDB. The sustained pressure from Loughborough works out in the end. Getting the demo on Tylacto, it wasn't the best to clear. Yes, he got a save, but it wasn't the best to clear, and just goes straight to Loughborough. And again, sustained pressure. They have been putting on that sustained pressure onto the orange net almost constantly in that last game, and they only got 1 goal out of it. Now they've got a goal here in this crucial game 4, as they need to win every game from now on to stay in this.
Yeah, and that last goal, it was purely because there was 2 of the Loughborough players in the net. They had threw everything into that chance and they came out on top. Those risks, though, they are massive. They can't count on that. Once again, Mish does build up a bit of pressure, sending the ball down into the Lancaster side. Orion not getting the touch, and just wide from Gorgeous. Unlucky for him. Mish with the long shot. A little bit of a delayed hit there. TDB way too far out. He's got to charge at this. He needs to get the pitch with the wall, and does. Mish with the follow through, hitting it into the center. Tylacto is there. Nice slow hit. He gets the second touch into the corner with a third. No! Once again, the whiffs from Tylacto, but Mac is there to protect him, to help him out, give him that helping hand. Actually bumped into it from Gorgeous. What?
Oh my goodness gracious me. What a hell. You're talking about Matt giving Tylacto a helping hand. What a helping hand from Gorgeous there to send Mac. Didn't intend it, probably meant to demo him. Here comes TDB off the kickoff, trying to give his team a helping hand as well to try and get it back into this matchup. But you've got to be aware of your surroundings. And Gorgeous, you never really expect that. If you bump a player, you're putting him out of position, let alone into position like that.
I'm dumbfounded from that last goal. Like, for one, these players are of such a good, high level that they shouldn't be making those dumb mistakes. It is just these grand finals nerves which are really getting to them. You can see the simple mistakes. Even on Tylacto, who we know shouldn't be making half of these whiffs. It's just so much pressure. And that is more of what we expect to see. A fantastic maneuver off this wall to just hammer that into the net.
We've talked about Tylacto whiffing a lot. We talked about it in the last matchup as well. But he now with 4 wins straight, actually, 3 wins straight here in the final. But also with the 3 wins he's carried through straight from the lower bracket. So 6 games in a row now, Tylacto has been ahead, or actually won, this being the 7th. And Tylacto finally looking confident and comfortable in his own car for the first time tonight.
Gorgeous up in the air. Oh, it's a fantastic play, but Tylacto gets to it. TDB following through, can't get to it, nor can Deleterious Mac. Nice little 50-50 though, to send it all the way into the blue half. Gorgeous trying to fake out Tylacto with the backflip, but does win a 50-50. TDB can't get to it. Tylacto with a slow play, not good enough to get past Mish, but Orion follows through. All 3 members triple commit, and once again Tylacto with a whiff off the post. This could turn into a counter. The flick. Go up into the air. Delirious Matt chasing this down. He's hunting for that goal off the backboard. Orion putting it back into the center, but not a third man to pick it up. Missed opportunities, but that will do it. The 4th goal for Lancaster. Craftman, that has to steal this game.
It could potentially do it, and the 3rd there for Tylacto is really at this point in the game, Loughborough are searching for any opportunity to get through. You saw that triple commit on the defense there, trying to save really the 3rd shot in a row from the orange team, and at that point they have to. Yes, they didn't concede at that point, but they're trying everything they possibly can to get back into it. They need to make up 3 within 20 seconds. It's not impossible, but it's very implausible.
15 seconds remaining. This is definitely a way for the Arrow League to go out with Lancaster doing a full sweep from the lower bracket. This is why so many teams campaign for that bracket reset. But either way, Lancaster have just been in such a dominant form here, Craftman.
They have, and certainly worthy winners, taking out the undefeated Loughborough from the top bracket in a 4-1 essentially sweep of this grand final, and it will be the RLCS Season 4 contender, the current rival series player Tylacto leading Deleterious Mac and Orion RL, and ladies and gentlemen, Lancaster University are your Arrow League Season 2 champions. I was trying to think of another superlative to put in there, but they're just your champions. Well done, Lancaster.
Well, they're going out as the last ever Arrow League champions, so they could be the Titans. They are not going to get dethroned. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, that's the whole point of it. It's the last one. It's not going to happen, you know? So, it's been an absolutely nuts season, hasn't it, Craftman?
It has been up and down all around. We would have maybe thought Swansea Storm Green would be here, as they only dropped 1 game in the group stage, and then they ended up dropping to the lower bracket after the upper final to Loughborough as well. But then just Lancaster just turning it around. They had a very poor week last week where they dropped to that lower bracket, but they've just had a fantastic run down there, and we've seen it before with teams in Rocket League. Lower bracket runs could be the the norm that these teams end up going for. Obviously, you never want to be in that lower bracket, but some teams just thrive in there, a la Flipside Season 2 of RLCS, and now Lancaster here in Season 2 of the Arrow League as well. But credit to Lancaster and credit to Loughborough as well for such a hard fight in the grand final. But it is going to be Lancaster in the end who take the victory. But well done to all the teams that we've had competing throughout the season, whether you're from Bangor, you're from Loughborough, you're from I'm trying to find other universities, Kiel, Warwick, Swansea, Salford, all over the place, all over the United Kingdom. But one team reigns supreme, one university reigns supreme. And tonight, that is Lancaster.
Yeah, guys, that's going to end it for us. We're going to be closing down this stream for the last time for Rocket League. Guys, as we said, as the announcement said, we will be making the move over and joining forces with NSE. We're going to be starting up a little bit of a new home. We're going to be having a little word from the Murphsters in a little bit. But guys, just me, go drop a follow over on Twitter, NSE_GG, or go check out the website, nse.gg. But Murphers, take the stage.
All right. And guys, I am a little bit sentimental. This is the final night of our league. 5 years of university esports. I guess, well, congratulations first off to Lancaster. It was incredible. I think, what was that? It was 7 games in a row they won?
Yeah, seven in a row. 3 from the lower bracket final, 4 in the grand final.
Bit of a madness considering they were 2-0 down as well. But yeah. Thanks to everyone for playing. Thanks to the casters as well. We wouldn't be able to put this on without our casty boys and our producer boy. Next year, I'm hoping things won't be too different. It will still be the same Rocket League that you guys have come to love over the last year. Apart from that, yeah, like maybe see you guys at iSeries. If not, I'll see you in October. But from everyone at Arrow League, thank you and good night.